good YouTube? It's Adam from iMusic Mo. Welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to go ahead and remake from scratch Drake, It's Up featuring Young Thug and 21 Savage. The main tempo for this one is 140 beats per minute, and the track is produced by London CYR, Ben 10K, Elyas, Tom Levesque, and Gyz. So let's kick things off with the intro. We'll start off with that piano. Right here I already pre-recorded it in because it is quite a lengthy piano section. This is what the MIDI looks like. I should also note that the BPM for the intro is 130 beats per minute, and then it goes into that 140. So we're gonna go ahead and just design this piano sound from scratch so you kind of get an idea of how to make that Drake sound. We're gonna go over to the piano category and we're gonna go over to the Studio Grand preset. We're gonna go ahead and open up the piano plugin here. We're gonna change it from Studio Grand over to the Vintage Upright. All right, and now let's go ahead and Drakeify that piano. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna open up the EQ. We're gonna reset this EQ, and we're gonna give it a filter. So you want it nice and dark. All right, so you're already getting that Drake vibe just by filtering it out. The next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna add in a little bit of resonance here at the cutoff point here. So it kind of adds a little little touch in there. And then we're going to go ahead and just take a little bit of these mids out here. So we'll go from that to like this roomy, vibey piano. And then we're going to go ahead and bring in a chorus. And for this, we're going to bring in a preset, the Guitar Summer preset. It gets it a little bit more buttery. And then of course we got to put this piano into a space. So let's go ahead and open up the reverb that's already loaded up in here. What we're gonna do here is pull up the decay and the wet value as well. There is our intro piano and how to get that Drake vibey piano. Next, let's go ahead and bring in that flute. We're gonna go and create a new software instrument track. We're gonna go over to our library browser. We're gonna go over to the world category. We're gonna go to woodbins and we're gonna go over to the Peruvian panpipe. So at the top, we're just gonna follow the main melody from the piano. And then let's skip over to the end of the pattern. So I'll just start off from here. And we're gonna come down with the chord. Just like that. And then what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna duplicate this over and we're just gonna take out these two notes and we got the full pan flute pattern just like that. But we got to make that flute sound a lot more like the original track. So let's get to it. First thing we're gonna do over here is we're gonna go ahead and bring in a chorus just to soften it up. And we're gonna go over to a preset, the mega wide chorus. Kind of softens it up. And then we got to put it into a space to make it a little bit grander. So let's go ahead and bring in Logic's Chroma Reverb. I'm going to bring in a preset I like to use on my sounds. We'll go to the Effects Cave preset. And we're pretty much just going to leave everything as is, and it sounds like this. The only thing I'm going to do is just take some of the lows of the reverb out and just boost the highs. right, so that is pretty much the intro. Then we're gonna go over to the end of this intro and change the tempo. So we're gonna go over to bar 17 right over here. We're gonna hit our tempo list. And what we're gonna do here is hit the plus sign and we're gonna type in a new tempo, 140 beats per minute. And just like that, we change the tempo from 130 for the intro to 140 for the remainder of the track. So for this next part, we're gonna go ahead and create a new software instrument track. We're gonna start off with some brass. We'll bring in Logic's Alchemy. And we're gonna bring in a preset here. We're gonna type in Colossal Brass, this one right over here. We're gonna move it over to the smooth performance for now. Let's go ahead and draw in that pattern. The root chord for the track itself, E flat minor. We'll stretch that out over the 2 bars. And now let's get to the sound design. We're going to open up EQ and we're just going to take out a lot of the top end here. And we're going to take out some of this low end here to make room for our bass. Alright, now let's go ahead and bring in that main synth sound that we hear throughout the entire track. We'll go to Logic's Alchemy. We're going to go over to a preset called High Pass Clouds. Here it is right over here. We're going to take these notes and we're going to duplicate it over another octave. So the only sound design here that we're going to do is just take out some of the lows to leave space for the bass. We're going to open up EQ and just we're going to shape this sound a bit. So next, let's go ahead and layer up the sound just to make it a little bit fuller. Go ahead and create a new software instrument track. And once again, we're going to bring in Logic's Alchemy. I'm going to go over to a preset called the Big 7th Lead. And it sounds like this. We're going to copy down the same pattern. We're going to move the performance over to Big Stack. Let's soften up the attack a little bit here. We'll just bring down the reverb over there. Next, we're going to go ahead and bring in some chorus. We're going to go over to the preset called Guitar Summer, just to soften it up a bit. We'll bring in an EQ. Once again, we'll leave space for the bass. Layer that into the other sound. Next, go ahead and bring in that bass, the first bass. We're going to create a new software instrument track. We're going to bring in Logic's ES1 synthesizer. We're going to go over to a preset here under synth bass called Sub Bass. We'll close that out for now. Let's go ahead and just draw in that pattern. All right, next is going to open up Logic's ES1 and get to some sound design. So really the only thing we're going to do here is open up the cutoff to make it a little bit brighter. Let's pull up the drive a bit, pull down the resonance. And that's really it. This is what it sounds like together. Let's just pull up the out level so you can hear it a bit more. Bring in those drums. We'll create a new software instrument track. And I'm going to go over to my library browser here and bring in the kit that I prepared for this remake. The It's Up drum kit. So let's go all the way down here. Here it is right over here. And we'll start off with the snare. So the snare is going to go something like this. So it's going to start off on the 3. And then we're going to add in this last step over here. So for this first hi-hat, we're just going to give it a 2-step pattern. For the secondary hi-hat pattern, we're going to add in some rolls. It is a different sounding hi-hat sound. It's a little bit of a quicker one, and we're just going to add in a roll right over here. Both hi-hats, the snare. And now let's bring in that kick. And then we're going to bring in a perk loop. I took this perk loop from the track itself. So here it is right over here. The pattern sounds like this on its own. Let me just put it back to bar 1. All right, so I'm just going to duplicate that over, and it sounds like this together for the drums. All together. So we go from our piano line intro into that. So now let's go over to the next section. We're going to copy over all the same instruments, just bring in one more sound. So let's copy all over that, Command R, and we're going to create a new software instrument track. And we're going to go over to Logic's Retro Synth for this one. We're going to bring in a preset found under Synth Leads, the Dance Basic Lead. Let's close that out for now. All right, and then for the next half, it just kind of goes back up. Let's work on this last half here. All right, so all together, sounds like this. And for the sound design, we're just going to shape it with a little bit of EQ. So let's go ahead and open that up. We're going to cut out some of the lows here. We're going to take a little bit of the top end out as well, so it's not so bright. And then for the next section, we get the same pattern, except it comes in with a flute. We're going to create a new software instrument track. Let's go all the way down to over here. We're going to bring in that flute. For this time, it's going to be Logic's Vintage Mellotron. And we're just going to go over to the flute preset for now. Let's go and close that out. Copy down the same pattern. It sounds like this. Separate, pitch it down 1 octave. Now for that flute sound, we're going to go and open up Logic's Mellotron. We're going to change our tape speed over to the 4th dot here. But the sound is not quite there yet, so let's get to that. First things first, it's going to bring in some chorus. We're going to soften it up. Then we got to put in a space with some reverb, so we'll go to Logic's Chroma Verb. Let's go bring up the decay a little bit. And then for the EQ, we'll just take a little bit of this top end out here. Make it a little bit darker. Alright, let's jump over to the next section. And once again, we're going to copy over everything here. We're going to take out the flute, except this time we're going to get a different bass pattern. So let's go ahead and duplicate this because we're going to use the same ES1 plugin. The pattern is going to switch up. So I'm just going to copy this down over here. Let's work on this one here. But before we work on the pattern, let's go ahead and just change the preset over to the deep bass preset. Let's go ahead and draw on that new pattern and then get to the sound design. So it's a little bit of like a quicker bass. And then we get this little thing happening at the end here. All right, now the sound design. So in Logic's ES1, we're just going to pull up the cutoff a little bit. Pull up the drive. All right, together it sounds like this. Except we've got to pull that out a little bit more. The first thing we're gonna do here is I'm just gonna bring in EQ. Maybe I'll take away some of that buzziness. Make it like a fat sub bass type of thing. And then we're gonna go over to Logic's Fat Effects. And we're gonna go ahead and just apply some compressor. Use the compressor module right here. It's gonna give it a little bit of punch. We'll add in some clipping to it. So without, with. The bass does switch up once again, but we're going to copy down the same preset because we are going to use the same one. It's just going to be a little bit brighter. So let's copy this down. It's going to sound like this. All right, same as before, but let's open up our channel EQ here. We're going to open this up quite a bit. All right, we'll open up Logic's ES1 and open the cutoff here as well. Put down the drive a bit. And we're going to add in some resonance to give it a little bit like a vowel sound. All right, it's a little bit more of a gritty sound. So it goes from this. A little more aggressive. And then we're going to go ahead and bring in the last section. And we're going to go ahead and copy over this dance lead, duplicate that. We're going to put in a new pattern over here. Let's copy over the flute for this section. It's going to sound something like this. And that's pretty much it. And once again, this is just pushed over to the left a little further more. That note is a little off. We gotta bring that down one step. is pretty much the beat right there. Next, I'm going to go ahead and mix it, arrange it, and when we come back, we'll take a listen to the full rig we just put together. It's Up by Drake featuring Young Thug and 21 Savage. There is Drake, It's Up, featuring Young Thug and 21 Savage, remade in Logic Pro. If you're Logic Pro users out there, I'm gonna go ahead and save this entire session for you, place it as a downloadable link below this video. If you don't use Logic, I got your back as well. We're gonna go ahead and export all the MIDI stems, audio stems, and of course include the drum kit that you heard in this remake. You can find that playback down below the like button as well. If you do have any questions on this or just want to chat or have any suggestions for future videos, let's go chat down below. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Later.